Good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Just going to pause till we get the signal about the stream starting. All right. We are live. Good morning and welcome to the Office of Tax Appeals, also known as OTA. My name is Andrew Wong, and I'm the lead panel member who will be conducting the oral hearing for this case. On today's panel, in addition to myself, we have Judge Michael F. Geary and Hearing Officer Kim Wilson. Also present is our stenographer, Ms. Lynn Alonzo. By the way, this is the appeal of Y&G Empire Incorporated, OTA case number 2308-14072. This hearing is being live streamed to the public, and a video recording will be made available on OTA's YouTube channel. Also, Ms. Alonzo will report this hearing verbatim and prepare an official hearing transcript, which will be made available on OTA's website. To help Ms. Alonzo make a clear record, I have 4 requests of the parties. Please speak slowly, clearly, and directly into your microphone. Number 2, please do not speak over each other or interrupt when someone else is speaking. Number 3, please answer verbally and with words. Number 4, please mute your microphones when not speaking. If Ms. Alonzo cannot hear, understand, or identify someone who is speaking, she has permission to interrupt the oral hearing at any time to get clarification. And I would like to clarify that this oral hearing is before OTA, which is a separate agency from the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration, or CDTFA. OTA is not a court, but an independent appeals body. The office is staffed by tax experts and is independent of the state's tax agencies. As I noted earlier, I am the lead panel member for purposes of conducting this oral hearing. However, my co-panelists and I are co-equal decision makers and may ask questions of either party during the hearing. Further, our 3-person panel will decide all the issues presented to us, and each of us will have an equal vote in making those decisions. All right, Ms. Alonzo, are we ready to go on the record? All right, thumbs up. Let's go on the record. This is the appeal of Y&G Empire Incorporated before the Office of Tax Appeals, OTA case number 2308-14072. Is that right? In any case, we'll correct that if it's incorrect. Today is Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. The time is 10:35 a.m., and we are holding this hearing online via Zoom. I'm Lead Administrative Law Judge Andrew Wong, and with me today are Judge Michael F. Geary and Hearing Officer Kim Wilson. Individuals representing the appellant, the taxpayer, please introduce yourself. I believe you're muted. I'm sorry, we cannot hear you.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning, owner. My name is Paul Asier for Y&G Empire, Inc.
Thank you. And individuals representing the respondent tax agency, the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration, CDTFA, could you please introduce yourselves?
I'm Nalan Samaravickum, a hearing representative for the CDTFA.
Jason Parker, Chief of Headquarters Operations Bureau with CDTFA.
Good morning. This is Christopher Brooks, attorney for CDTFA.
Good morning. Thank you. We are considering 2 issues today. Issue number 1 is whether the amount of unreported taxable sales should be further reduced. And issue number 2 is whether appellant was negligent. Mr. Asier, is that an accurate statement of the issues?
Yes, owner.
Thank you. CDTFA?
This is Nalan Samaravickum. Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Appellant, Mr. Asier, you did not submit or identify any proposed exhibits, so you have no exhibits today. Is that correct?
That's correct, owner.
Okay. And CDTFA has identified and submitted proposed exhibits A through G as evidence. CDTFA, did you have any other documents to submit?
This is not on summary requirement. No, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Azir, did you have any objections to CDTFA's proposed exhibits A through G?
I don't have any objection, but we disagree with them peacefully.
Got it. And you can address that in your argument, but hearing no objection to the evidence, the exhibits, CDTFA's exhibits A through G will be admitted into the record. All right, Mr. Azir, you had no witnesses today, is that correct?
That's correct.
And CDTFA, you have no witnesses, right?
This is not on summary requirement. Yes, Judge.
Okay. This hearing is going to take approximately 75 minutes. Mr. Azir, you've asked for 30 minutes. Do you know how you want to divide that between your main presentation and your closing, or did you just want to play it by ear?
Probably main presentation will take, probably I will take less than 30 minutes, but I don't like to waste the court time. So main presentation probably will take 15-20 minutes, and then the closing after CTFA statement.
Okay, I'll just divide it 20 and 10, and we'll just go from there. And CDTFA, you've asked for 30 minutes, is that correct?
This is not on summary requirement. Yes, Judge.
Okay. Are there any questions from either party? Mr. Azir, any final questions before you proceed?
No further questions.
Okay, CDTFA, any final questions?
No, Judge.
All right. Mr. Azir, please proceed with your presentation. You have, say, 20 minutes.
Hello, everyone. We are here presenting Y&G Empire Inc. Basically, it is a cigarette store selling cigarettes, cigarette accessories, food, some food, and lottery. And California Department of Tax and Fees process the audit and using 1099-K provided from third party and ignoring the cost of goods, the goods, food was involved there, and lottery. I give an example, very simple. Someone come to the store to buy a box of cigarette for $10, and then he ordered lottery for $2. So the total is $12 plus the sales tax for the box of cigarette. And they pay whole amount with credit card, which could be on or about $12.95, 95 cents for sales tax, plus the lottery itself. And they don't separate this one from that one. And Y&G Empire accept and sell lottery via credit card and debit card. And that's make the big difference between what's the auditor calculation and reality. And we try to explain it several times to California Department of Tax and Fees. These sales they come with include the lottery and include food. They sell some water and they sell some milk and some juice. And that's including in this one, and it's not taxable under California law. And when the auditor come with the method, ignore the lottery sales and the lottery revenue and consider this one as taxable. And it comes with the liability higher. And if California Department of Tax and Fees request from California Lottery, and they saying they have sales under California Lottery. And that portion of the lottery and the food cause the difference. And the Form 1099, and this one supposed to be subtract and non-taxable, So allowed the taxpayer reduce the sales tax liability for it. And plus, it's illegal to ask from customers to collect sales tax on lottery, because that's not accurate and not legal. Same thing for some food, and they did not collect any sales tax on food or either lottery. And if they subtract it and include the number from 1099, it should equal what's the taxpayer report. And issue number 2 is the penalties they forced California Department of Tax and Fees, ignoring the portion of lottery and food. And this one should be no penalties for that 2 reasons. And peacefully, we ask the appeal to make it 0 liability for sales tax and return the money, because California Department of Tax and Fees take the money through the escrow, and it's probably the whole sales price for the business, because the business has been sold. And they are really, no sales tax was collected on the lottery and not supposed to, and no sales tax was reported, which is not supposed to. And we don't know why California Department of Tax and Fees ignoring that and all the on all the calculation and all the reports. So we ask the tax appeal to review and waive the penalties. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Azier, for your presentation. I'll reserve the balance of your time for your rebuttal and closing. You have still about 25 minutes. All right, I will now turn to my co-panelists for questions that they might have for you, Mr. Azier, starting with Hearing Officer Wilson.
I do not have any questions at this time.
Okay, thank you. Judge Geary?
No questions yet.
All right, thank you. I just had one quick question for Mr. Azier. Can you use credit cards to buy lottery tickets? Do you know?
According to the taxpayer, the owners, they accept the credit card to buy lotteries.
Okay.
Because they try to make the sales higher. And especially it's very hard to separate lottery to non-lottery. So the answer, yes.
Thank you. I didn't have any further questions at this time. Okay, we will now turn it over to CDTFA for their presentation. You have 30 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Pellant is a California corporation that operated 2 retail smoke shops in Downey and Bellflower, California, selling cigarettes, cigars, and other tobacco-related items. Pellant sold the Downey location on March 5th, 2021. The department audited Pellant's business for the period of July 1st, 2017 through March 31st, 2021. This is Pellant's first audit. During the audit period, Pellant reported around $1.5 million as total taxable sales. And this is shown on Exhibit A, page 62. During our presentation, we will explain why the department rejected Pellant's reported taxable sales, why the department used an indirect audit approach, how the department determined Pelham's unreported taxable sales for the audit period and why the department recommended negligence penalty for this Pelham. During the audit, Pelham explained that their accountant prepared their sales and use tax returns using bank statements. But during the audit, Pelham failed to provide complete bank statements and sales records. Pelham did not provide complete sales documents of original entry, such as sales invoices, credit card sales receipts, detailed sales journals, and sales tax working papers for the audit period. In addition, Pelham failed to provide complete purchase invoices and purchase journals for the audit period. Due to the lack of reliable records, the department did not accept Pelham's reported taxable sales. The department also determined that Pelham's record was such that taxable sales could not be verified by a direct audit approach. Therefore, the department used an indirect audit approach to determine Pelham's taxable sales. The department completed 4 verification methods to understand Pelham's reporting patterns and verify the reasonableness of Pelham's reported taxable sales. First, the department analyzed reported taxable sales for the audit period and noted that Pelham, on average, reported around 55% of taxable sales for Downey location and 45% for Bellflower location. And these calculations are on Exhibit A, page 64. Pelham did not provide any other documentary evidence to determine different sales percentages for these 2 locations. Second, although Pelham used bank statement to report their sales for sales and use tax return for the audit period, failed to provide those records. Pelham did not provide any bank statements for Bellflower location for the audit period, and Pelham did not provide bank statements for Downey location for the period July 2017 through December 2018 and January 2020 through March 2021. And this information is shown on Exhibit A, pages 81 through 83. Therefore, the department did not have the required bank statements to verify the Pelham's reported sales for the audit period. However, the department compared Pelham's reported total sales, including sales tax for Downey location of around $213,000 with a bank deposits of around $343,000 and calculated an overall difference of around $130,000 for year 2019. And the information required to calculate these amounts are shown on Exhibit A, pages 64 and 81. Pelham only reported around 62% of their Downey location bank deposits as sales for the year 2019. Third, Pelham did not provide their credit card sales for the audit period. Therefore, the department obtained Pelham's credit card sales for both locations for the audit period from the department's internal sources. And this information is shown on Exhibit G, page 157. The department compared the credit card sales information with reported sales for each location and calculated a credit card to total sales ratio of around 95% for Downey location and 86% for Bellflower location. And these credit card sales percentages are shown on Exhibit G, pages 151 and 155. Based on his experience, the department determined both of these credit card sales percentages are high for these types of businesses. This supports that Pellant did not report some of their cash sales. Based on available credit card sales information, the department concluded that Pellant did not report their actual sales for reporting purposes. Based on Pellant provided bank statements, the department determined audited credit card sales percentage of around 65%, which the department determined to be a more reasonable credit card sales percentage. And this calculation is shown on Exhibit A, page 83. Fourth, the department reviewed Pellant's federal income tax return for years 2017, 2018, and 2019. And this information is on Exhibit A, page 95. The department compared the gross sales reflected on the federal income tax return with total sales reported on sales and use tax returns and calculated an overall difference of around $189,000 for the same period. And these differences are shown on Exhibit A, page 95. The department noted average recorded net profit of around $9,000, ranging from as low as $800 to as high as $17,000 for these years. And these are shown on Exhibit A, page 95. The department also compared the available credit card sales information with sales reflected on Pellant's federal income tax return for the same period and calculated an average credit card sales percentage of around 80%, ranging from as low as 76% to as high as 84%. And the information required to calculate these percentages are shown on Exhibit A, page 95, and Exhibit G, page 157. Based on Pellant's available bank statements, the department determined these credit card sales percentages are high for their businesses. These are indications that not all of Pellant's sales transactions had been reported in their federal income tax return for these years. Therefore, the department did not accept the sales reflected on Pellant's federal income tax return as Pellant's actual total sales for these periods. Pellant was unable to explain the reason for their low net profits, federal income tax return sales differences, bank deposits differences, and high credit card sales percentages. Therefore, the department conducted further investigation by analyzing Pellant's available federal income tax returns, bank statements, and credit card sales information. The department used a direct audit approach to determine unreported taxable sale of around $165,000 based on the sales differences between the sales reflected on Pellant's federal income tax returns and sales and use tax return for the period July 2017 through December 2019. And this is shown on Exhibit A, pages 78 through 80. These sales differences were allocated to each location using reported sales percentages, and these are shown on Exhibit A, page 79. As mentioned earlier, the department did not accept the sales reflected on Pellen's federal income tax returns as actual sales for these periods. Pellen did not provide any sales information for the audit period. However, Pellen provided their bank statements for Downey location for year 2019, and this information is on Exhibit A, page 82. Therefore, the department used the available bank statements to determine the audited credit card sales percentage of around 65%. And this calculation is on Exhibit A, page 83. Pellen did not provide any evidence to suggest that they have a different credit card sales percentage for other periods in the audit. Pellen also did not provide any evidence to suggest that they have a different credit card sales percentage for Bellflower location, or their credit card sales percentage is more than this audited credit card sales percentage for Downey and Bellflower locations. As mentioned previously, during the fieldwork, Pellen failed to provide credit card merchant statements or 1099-K forms to calculate their credit card sales for both locations for the audit period. Therefore, the department obtained Pellen's credit card sales information for both locations for the period July 2017 through December 2020 from the department's internal sources, and this information is shown on Exhibit A, page 77. At the time of the audit fieldwork, the department did not have the credit card sales information for first quarter 2021. Therefore, the department used the 2020 average error rate to determine unreported sales for first quarter 2021. Then the department used the total credit card sales for both locations and the audited credit card sales ratio of around 65% and the applicable sales tax rate factors to determine audited taxable sale of around $1 million for Downey location and around $730,000 for Bellflower location for the period July 2017 through December 2020. And these calculations are shown on Exhibit A, pages 69 and 74. The department then compared the audited taxable sales derived from credit card sales approach with the respective reported taxable sales, federal income tax return sales differences, and average error rate of year 2020 for each location to calculate unreported taxable sale of around $244,000 for Downey location and around $117,000 for Bellflower location for the audit period. And these calculations are shown on Exhibit A, pages 67 and 72. In total, the department determined unreported taxable sale of around $525,000 for the audit period. And these calculations are shown on Exhibit A, page 65. Unreported taxable sales were compared with the reported taxable sale of around $1.5 million to calculate the error rate of around 38% for the audit period. As mentioned earlier, the department determined the unreported taxable sales for the period January 1st, 2021 through March 31st, 2021 using the percentage of error from year 2020 because Pellen's credit card sales information for this period was not available when the audit was conducted. The department now has acquired the credit card sales for this period and analyzed this new information. The department concluded that including actual credit card sales in its analysis would increase the unreported taxable sales by around $25,000 from $525,000 to $550,000 for the audit period. And these calculations are shown on Exhibit G, page 147. However, the department is not asserting an increase based on Pellen's actual credit card sales information for this period. Therefore, the department determined that the estimated amount assessed in the audit for this period is not only reasonable, but also benefit the Pellen. When the department is not satisfied with the accuracy of the sales and use tax return file, it may rely upon any facts contained in the return or upon any information that comes into the department's possession to determine if any tax liability exists. A taxpayer shall maintain and make available for examination on request by the department all record necessary to determine the correct tax liability under the sales and use tax laws, and all record necessary for the proper completion of the sales and use tax returns. When a taxpayer challenges and a notice of determination, the department has the burden to explain the basis for that deficiency. When the department's explanation appears reasonable, the burden of proof shifts to the taxpayer to explain why the department's asserted deficiency is not valid. The audit calculation of unreported taxable sales based on the best available information was fair and reasonable. Pellen disagrees with the audit finding and contends that their credit card sales include lottery and exempt food sales. Pellen has not provided any source documents demonstrating that sales reported on Form 1099-K actually include sales of lottery and exempt food sales. Pellen has not provided any purchase invoices to show purchases of food for sale at these locations. The audit calculation of unreported taxable sales based on the best available information, the department continues to find it fair and reasonable. Finally, the department imposed the negligence penalty based upon its determination that Pellen's books and records were incomplete and inadequate for sales and use tax purposes, and because Pellen failed to accurately report their taxable sales. As mentioned earlier, this is Pellen's first audit. In analyzing the issue of negligence, one of the factors that must be considered is whether the taxpayer has been previously audited. A negligence penalty is not generally imposed when the taxpayer has not been previously audited. Nevertheless, even in connection with the first audit, imposition of a negligence penalty is warranted if there is evidence establishing that any bookkeeping and reporting errors cannot be attributable to the taxpayer's good faith and reasonable belief that its bookkeeping and reporting practices were in substantial compliance with the requirement of the sales and use tax law or regulation. Relevant factors such as general state of the books and records and the parent's business experience must be considered when the evidence clearly shows that the understatement is due to negligence. Then the penalty applies even when the parent has not been previously audited. Specifically, the department noted that parent failed to provide complete record for the audit period, and parent failed to provide documents of original entry to support their reported taxable sales. As a result, the department had to determine parent's taxable sales based upon the best available information. In addition, the audit examination disclosed underreported taxable sale of around $525,000, which, when compared with the reported taxable sale of around $1.5 million for the audit period, resulted in an error rate of around 38%. This high error rate is additional evidence of negligence. In conclusion, since Helen did not provide complete source documentation, the department was unable to verify the accuracy of reported taxable sales using a direct audit method. Therefore, an alternative audit method was used to determine unreported taxable sales. Accordingly, the department determined the unreported taxable sales based upon the best available information. The evidence shows that the audit produced fair and reasonable results. Pellant has not provided any reasonable documentation or evidence to support an adjustment to the audit finding. Therefore, the department requests the appeal be denied. This concludes our presentation. We are available to answer any questions the panel may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Samarawikrama. I will now turn to my co-panelists to see if they have any questions for CDTFA, beginning with Hearing Officer Wilson.
I do not have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Judge Geary, do you have any questions for CDTFA?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. I also do not have any questions for CDTFA. I just wanted to clarify, this is OTA case number 2305-13210. I believe I gave the wrong case number at the beginning of the stream. So just to correct that. All right, we'll now turn it back over to Mr. Azier for your rebuttal and closing remarks. You have 25 minutes. Thank you.
Hello. California Department of Tax and Fees saying they don't have record from bank statement, and on the other hand, they said the calculation in the bank statement, it doesn't match the income tax return, which doesn't make so much sense, because if they don't have the bank statement, how they do the calculation on this one? And during the audit, the taxpayer provides some bank statement because the auditor did sampling, as California Department of Tax and Fees request as sampling, not the whole thing. And the other thing, the taxpayer, as California Department of Tax and Fees said, it was in escrow at this time, and they take all the money, hold the money even over the liability of the taxes determined. And they didn't return the request if even the taxpayer requested. That's second thing. Third thing, third items in the list here, when they saying they determine an average business in the area, which is each business need to be evaluated individually regarding to the lottery. And California Department Tax and Fees, they have access to all the lottery sales, and they are aware of the sales of the lottery in this location, Downey, and the other location too, in Bellflower. And as they know it, and we provide them the license and the sales from California Lottery, they ignore it. And they said that's not in there. And in the 1090, in Form 1099K, they don't provide the itemized there. They are not, the law don't allow them to provide the itemized between the lottery and food and cigarette or cigarette accessories. But it's very reasonable and to see the store selling lottery, accepting credit card and processing that, and food too, some food like juice, milk, and water. And several times the taxpayer discussed it with the department to subtract the sales of the lottery when they provide the total sales from California Lottery. It's showing the sales for this location, and they can use the same percentage they use it for cash to credit card. Why they didn't use this one? And they are aware the place collect lottery. They're using a credit card for lottery sales. And then in the percentage, the taxpayer disagree with that percentage has been using between credit card and cash, because each location is totally different. And my understand this one in high-end area, which is the percentage for cash, is a way less than the credit card, which is come with California Department Tax and Fees come with unreasonable percentage there. And about the penalty, and we're requesting to waive the penalty. This place was under sale, and the new buyer collected the information to do the due diligence for the store before he or she buying the store. And that's why causing it's the availability for documents wasn't available at this period, but they did provide a lot of documents. And I believe the auditor used the sampling 1 or 2 months to evaluate the audit. And then they come with the percentage, which is peacefully, we disagree with that percentage. And we like to subtract all the lottery revenue from taxable amount as the law allowed, as the sales tax law allowed it. And in the documents exhibit provided by California Department of Tax and Fees, the audit working paper and related documents, page 1 to 103, the calculation is based on the favor of California Department of Tax and Fees not in reasonable amount. And when they did analysis for Form 1099-K, which is California Department of Tax and Fees has all the 1099-K, they ignored the sales tax. I'm sorry, they forced the sales tax on lottery intentionally, if even they have all the forms 1099 from lottery too, and it's not using here, which is fairly to be used and subtract from that. So we asking from all the judges, please allow the deductions for the lottery and food to be allowed, and please waive the penalties according to the business was in the period of due diligence, and they didn't provide all the documents for this reason, because the buyer has, at this time, has the documents. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Azir. Okay. For the final time, I will now turn to my co-panelists to see if they have any questions for either party, beginning with Hearing Officer Wilson.
Yes, so you're saying that the IRS has your records currently and has since the audit started? Is that what you're saying?
The buyer has, the new buyer, because the store sold, has the record.
And you don't have access to the records anymore?
Personally, I don't have access to the record. And the owner of them, they give them the sales report, because in the period of the due diligence, they have it before they buying the store.
Okay, so the store was sold in 2021?
In 2021, my understand, yes.
Yeah, and so it's 2024 and they still have the records?
The buyer keeps the record, I believe that's what they said. The new buyer. So they are the seller. The buyer has the record.
Okay.
And he did request it from him as several times, but he doesn't respond because the sales is over at this time.
Okay, do you have any documentation from the state lottery that you could provide to show that you had lottery sales?
I believe we can request that from state lottery.
And you hadn't thought to do that prior?
I can check my record. But when I can provide it to you.
And in addition to, you mentioned you had food sales, right?
They have some food sales, yes, like water, milk.
So which vendors did they use to purchase food?
I don't know the name. I can check with them and I will give it back if you allowed me. I can check the name of the vendors.
Okay, so all of that information could have been gotten from either your vendors or the lottery directly, and you.
California Department of Tax and Fees, they have the lottery documents. During the audit, they requested and they have it.
Okay, CDTFA, is that an accurate statement?
This is not a summary. No, it's not accurate statement. For the audit, the exhibit A page 59 under the verification comments, the source of document, source of data, we only receive federal income tax return for 2017, 18, and 19. Bank statement for Downey location for 2019, and September 2019 purchase invoices is only listed for vendors.
Okay, and in the purchase invoices for 2019, none of those included lottery or food purchases?
Only 4 vendors, no, it's not included. And in our reply brief, we requested the Pelham to provide if there is any exempt food purchases that they have, or to provide any document to support that the 1099 information include any lottery sales or exempt food sales. As of today, we don't have that information. And
Okay, thank
also,
you.
like it's very, if the taxpayer provided, then we would have verified the reasonableness of the taxpayers' request, but up to date, we don't have that information.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Owner, do you want me to send you the lottery documents at this time, or you are not requesting that? I have the lottery in front of me, one here.
Let's hold off on that question really quick. We'll finish up panelist questions, and then I will have a conversation with my co-panelist, and we'll discuss that. Judge Geary, did you have any questions for either party?
I do not. Thank you.
Okay, I did not have any questions either. So what we are going to do, we're going to take a brief 5-minute recess break. I'm going to have a conversation with my co-panelists, and then we're going to discuss these additional documents, potential additional documents. Okay, so if you guys could mute yourselves, close off your camera, and then I think we will be going to a waiting room. So thank you. We'll be back at let's say 11:30. Let's go off the record, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back on the record. All right, so my co-panelists and I have discussed regarding additional records that appellant may be able to provide. First question is for CDTFA. If appellant were able to provide records substantiating non-taxable food sales and lottery sales during the audit period, would CDTFA be able to take that into account and make adjustments accordingly, or?
This is not a summary comment. So if it is a lotto sales, if the taxpayer provide documents the lotto to support that the credit card sales include lotto sales, yeah, we will have a look. But just giving the lotto sale amount for the audit period doesn't
Right.
help us to make adjustment for lotto sales part. And for non-taxable food, if the taxpayer sold non-taxable food, yeah, then we will consider and revisit the audit.
Okay. Thank you.
Judge Wong,
Yes.
may I ask a question of the department, please?
Sure, absolutely.
Did the audit include an analysis to determine credit card purchase percentage?
Credit card purchase percentage, I mean the credit card purchase percentage or
Yeah,
credit card sales percentage?
Credit card sales, excuse me, credit card
Oh.
sales ratio of the percentage of sales that were paid for with credit cards. It did, didn't it?
Yes, Judge. We used the bank deposit for 2019. So, the originally before that the department used 50% credit card ratio, but after that, we use 65% based on the bank deposits to give a benefit for the taxpayer. Most of the time we didn't have enough information to say or determine that all the cash were deposited into the bank. But based on 2019, we determined the credit card ratio is 65 based on the bank deposits.
And if the appellant was able to produce reliable records concerning lotto sales during the audit period, wouldn't the department be able to use the credit card percentage that the department calculated and relied upon?
Yeah, if the taxpayer provide documents, yes, but the other question is, like when if a customer comes and pay for lotto by using a credit card, I don't think we will see is the lotto sales in the bank deposits.
I'm not suggesting you would. I'm suggesting I'm asking whether or not the department can simply use the credit card sales ratio that it calculated and apply that to total lottery sales if the appellant is able to produce reliable records showing that number.
Yeah, without seeing the information, it's really hard to answer that question. If it is the reasonable documentation and if we have enough information to determine, some lotto sales were included in the credit card ratio calculation, yes, we will revisit the audit.
Okay, I think that's probably as far as I'm going to be able to get on this in this area, Judge Wong. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Azir, so there were two locations. Appellant had two locations, one in Bellflower and one in Downey. At the end of the audit period in March 2021, the Downey location was sold. Is the Bellflower location still operating?
I understand the Bellflower store is sold too.
I see. Okay. Do you know when that was sold?
It, I think sometimes in 2023 or 22.
Okay. Um,
I can check exactly time if the court want it.
but eventually it was sold too. So
It is
appellate-
sold. Yeah, the facts, yeah, it is sold. It's sold.
Okay.
Either 2023 or 2022.
Okay. Can appellate produce records from the audit or the liability period substantiating non-taxable food sales or lottery sales?
I have here in my record the lottery from California Lottery for 2021. The documents in front of me here.
Sales that appellate, excuse me, appellate made from 2021. Is that
The record exactly I have from California Lottery. It's showing the commission for lottery and commission for scratch ticket. And this one, they said for your federal taxpayer and tax ID number within an above address for by February 15th, 2020.
so
And that's for earning commission for 2020, which is a period of the audit.
from that number, can you somehow do an analysis and figure out how much commission, what basically lotto sales are made total, and how much based on the commission?
Yes, we can. I believe that there is a certain percentage.
Right.
All California use it for a lottery commission, which is, I believe it's 5 or 6%.
Okay, if
that's
you can,
for all the return. I can get this information.
okay,
And then
if you could substantiate that commission percentage and do an analysis, we'll keep the record open. Or if you, better yet, if you have more direct evidence of lotto sales as opposed to I mean, I guess commission is some evidence. Do you also have any, or does your client have any evidence of purchases of non-taxable goods from the
food and
yeah,
and snacks and all? I will ask them. At this period. But what I'm telling the court what I have in my hand as of now.
Okay.
The lottery documents. I will ask him for the food and the vendors for the food.
Okay. Hearing Officer Wilson, did you want to chime in on the records issue?
While Hearing Officer Wilson is thinking, may I ask the appellant's representative a question or two?
Sure.
Thank you. Mr. Zier, you're making reference, I think looking at your own computer screen, you made reference to something you have that documents commissions earned by the appellant for 2020. Is that what you said?
Yes, Honor.
And if Judge Wong ultimately decides to allow the appellant an opportunity to gather and provide additional documents, will you also look for records of lottery sales for the entire liability period that's at issue here, not just 2020?
I will request it from the taxpayer to contact the California Lottery.
Okay. And as Judge Wong indicated, if there is a document that can be obtained from the California Lottery that would actually state the total lottery sales as opposed to commissions, of course, that would be more direct evidence of actual lottery sales. But if your client can only obtain documentation of commissions earned, then we'll need some kind of verifiable evidence about what that commission was so that we can work backwards from the commission to the lottery sales. Do you understand that?
Yes, yes. Number one, I will request from my client to have it for 2019 for the whole period for the audit from California Lottery, and showing the total sales comes direct from California Lottery if we can available. If it's not, I will provide what I have, and I will provide analysis, the percentage for the commission, showing the sales, the lottery sales based on the commission.
All right, thank you, Judge Wong.
Sure.
Thank
And
you.
do you have any, does your client have any point of sales records showing what portions of lottery sales were paid by credit card?
I will request that, but at some point, because the place sold, the new buyer has majority of the record for point of sales for the due diligence period. But I will request it
Okay.
again.
How long do you think you'll need to produce these additional documents and the analysis?
Probably 30 to 45 days,
Okay,
if the court allowed me.
sure. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what we will be doing since we do have some holidays between now and we'll set a 45-day deadline for appellant and then give CDTFA 45 days to respond. And then I will issue an order laying out types of documents that we are requesting and laying out the deadlines after this hearing concludes. Do my co-panelists have anything else they would want to chime in on? Hearing Officer Wilson, anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate that the department will need to see that the lottery was paid by credit card for them to reduce the credit card. So if you're able to get the lottery information, they would probably need additional information to show that the transactions were credit card versus cash transactions. The same would go with any food purchases if you have them. Right? If you're able to get your vendor invoices that show that you purchased non-taxable food items, then that would be helpful. That's all I had to add.
Thank you. Does that make sense, Mr. Azier?
Yes, I will request from him for the vendors for food if he has any invoices available. And I will request from him if he can show anything taxable, a percentage for credit card to has been collected by lottery has been collected by credit card.
Okay. Judge Geary, anything else you'd like to add?
No, nothing
Okay.
else. Thank you.
All right. So thank you everyone for your presentations. We are going to keep the record open to allow appellant an opportunity to provide additional information, documents and evidence, and then we'll also give CDTFA an opportunity to respond if appellant provides that information and analysis. So be on the lookout for that order following this hearing, laying out the deadline and the documents requested. All right, this concludes the hearing. And so we appreciate everyone's presentations today. We're going to end the oral hearing in this case, and the next hearing will commence at 1 p.m. Thank you, everyone.